Power has always been the hidden game of life. From kings in their palaces to businessmen in their towers, from warriors on the battlefield to lovers in their private games, the struggle for power never ends. Some understand it, play it well, and rise above others. Most ignore it, fall into traps, and end up as pawns. Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power is not just a book. It is a manual of survival and dominance in a world where appearance, cunning, and timing often matter more than brute strength. To read it is to put on a new set of eyes. You begin to see how people manipulate, how they hide their intentions, how they charm, how they destroy, how they climb while smiling, and how they strike while pretending to embrace. Greene uses stories of history's great figures, Machiavelli, Sun Tzu, Bismarck, Napoleon, Queen Elizabeth, Caesar, and countless others, to show how power moves through the ages. But beneath the stories, the lessons are the same. Power is timeless. Let us walk through the laws, not as cold rules, but as living strategies, breathing through history and human behavior. Law 1. Never outshine the master. If you want to survive in a world of power, never make your superior feel small. Kings hate rivals. Bosses hate being overshadowed. Teachers hate being outsmarted. If you shine too brightly, you make the one above you insecure. And when someone feels insecure, they will crush you, not reward you. History shows countless men of talent who rose too fast, only to be cut down by their own brilliance. The secret is simple. Make your superior feel greater than they are. Hide your fire. Play humble. Let them enjoy the spotlight, even when you are the one fueling the light. Only then will you live long enough to build your own throne. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Friends are dangerous. They envy, they betray, they expect too much. Because of love or comfort, you may trust them with power, and that is when they turn on you. Enemies, however, are clear. They hate you, but their hate can be turned. When you convert an enemy into an ally, they become more loyal than any friend, because they have something to prove. Great rulers knew this. They hired rivals, made peace with old foes, and used those who once sought their downfall. Why? Because a former enemy values the bond more than a careless friend. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Humans are curious animals. If they know what you plan, they will block you. If they sense your strategy, they will undermine it. Therefore, hide your true aim. Distract with smoke. Mislead with gestures. Keep people guessing, and you'll control the game. Look at history's greatest strategists. They never reveal their full hand until the moment of victory. When Napoleon moved his armies, no one knew the real strike until it was too late. When a cunning courtier moved in the palace, no one knew the plan until the crown was within reach. Silence, disguise, and misdirection, these are the tools of power. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. Words are like currency. The more you spend, the cheaper they become. Powerful people master silence. They let others reveal themselves, talk too much, and dig their own graves. A single mysterious word can create fear. A quiet nod can command more respect than a long speech. In courts, in offices, in families, those who speak less are feared more. Why? Because the unknown carries weight. Once you explain everything, you lose your mystery. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Reputation is the armor of power. Once damaged, no weapon can protect you. People judge not on truth, but on what they hear. Protect your name as if it were your crown. Build a reputation for strength, generosity, ruthlessness, whatever suits your game, but guard it carefully. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon, he carried not just legions, but his name. When Napoleon fell, it was his reputation that carried him back to power. Never let rumors, slander, or careless actions stain the one thing that outlives you, your reputation. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. Invisibility is death. Power thrives on visibility. The one ignored is the one forgotten. Masters of power never blend into crowd. They stand apart by style, by boldness, by scandal, or by brilliance. History rewards those who demand attention, whether through glory or infamy. Better to be hated than invisible. Better to shock the world than be buried in silence. The stage of life is crowded. To win, you must step into the light and hold it no matter what. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. The powerful know how to use the energy of others. Let others sweat, invent, and labor. Then, make their work serve your rise. History remembers names, not helpers. Edison had armies of assistants, but history remembers Edison. Kings fought no wars with their own hands, yet songs praise their victories. The trick is not laziness. It is redirection. Channel the work of others to build your empire. Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. When you chase, you reveal need. When you run after others, you place yourself below them. Power moves in reverse. Make others chase you. Draw them with mystery, with value, with something they cannot resist. Once they come, you control the terms, the stage, the battlefield. The spider does not chase the fly. It weaves a web and waits. The same is true of power. Build your web, and they will come. Law 9. Win through actions, never through argument. Words can win debates, but lose hearts. No one ever truly changes their mind because you argue better. Pride resists. Ego resists. Instead, prove your point through action. Silence the critic by success. Crush the rival by results. Outshine the doubter by deeds. Napoleon said, "Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake." Likewise, never waste your breath proving. Let action speak, and your enemies will fall silent. Law 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Emotions spread like disease. If you walk with the bitter, you become bitter. If you ally with the unlucky, their misfortune clings to you. Misery loves company, but it also destroys it. The powerful avoid those who drain energy, who live in complaints, who always fall into disaster. Instead, they align with the bold, the fortunate, the confident. Power is a current. Choose wisely which river you swim in. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. True power comes not from what you give, but from what others cannot live without. If people depend on you, they will never turn against you. Think of kings. They were not the strongest warriors, but they controlled land, wealth, and protection. Their subjects relied on them for survival. Imagine being in a workplace. If your boss knows that only you can solve the biggest problems, your value skyrockets. But the moment people realize they don't need you, your power evaporates. Dependence is the invisible chain that binds others to you. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. One honest move can cover dozens of lies. One small gift can blind people to your larger plan. This law teaches us that generosity and honesty, when used sparingly and at the right time, become weapons of manipulation. People are naturally suspicious, always on guard. But when you show sudden honesty, their defenses crumble. Imagine a thief who returns a lost wallet before stealing the entire bank. The first act earns trust. The second act devastates. Use this wisely. Too much honesty makes you predictable, but a drop of truth in a sea of deception makes you powerful. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest. We like to think people are moved by loyalty or friendship, but the truth is, self-interest rules the world. If you want help, never appeal to mercy or gratitude. Instead, show people how helping you will benefit them. Imagine asking a wealthy man for charity. If you beg, he ignores you. But if you show him that by funding you, his name will shine, his status will rise, he opens his wallet. Always remember, people want to know, what's in it for me? Speak to that, and doors open. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Knowledge is the currency of power. To rule others, you must first understand them, their weaknesses, desires, fears. And the best way to learn is not through open questions, but by disguising yourself as their ally. Friends speak freely. Enemies hide their secrets. Imagine being the quiet listener at the table, nodding, laughing, asking small questions, while secretly collecting information. That information becomes your weapon. But beware. If your spying is revealed, you will be hated more than any enemy. So, hide it in the mask of friendship. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. Mercy is dangerous. If you leave an enemy alive, They will recover, rebuild, and seek revenge. History is full of kings who spared rivals, only to be destroyed later. The lesson is brutal but clear. When you have a chance, eliminate the threat completely. A wounded enemy is more dangerous than a dead one, because hatred burns hotter in the survivor. If you want peace, remove the root of conflict. Half measures invite destruction. When it comes to enemies, do not wound, crush. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Too much presence makes you cheap. Too much availability lowers your value. People desire what they cannot have, and they respect what they rarely see. Absence creates mystery, and mystery creates power. Imagine the sun. It rises daily, and we take it for granted. But the rare eclipse commands awe. Withdraw at the right moment, and your worth multiplies. Lovers, leaders, even friends. If you vanish briefly, you become unforgettable. But remember, disappear too long, and they forget you entirely. Balance absence with presence, like an artist balancing light and shadow. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Predictability is weakness. If people can guess your next move, they can prepare against you. But if your actions are surprising, confusing, or shocking, they live in fear what you might do next. That fear itself becomes power. History remembers leaders who kept their enemies off balance. One day merciful, the next ruthless. One moment generous, the next cruel. This unpredictability makes people cautious, hesitant, unable to act. Imagine a chess game where you cannot read your opponent's strategy. Every move becomes terrifying. Be the storm, not the clear sky. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. It feels safe to retreat, to cut yourself off, to build walls against enemies. But fortresses are traps. Alone, you lose touch with the world, blind to plots forming outside your walls. Power grows only through connection, information, and influence, all of which die in isolation. The powerful mingle, listen, and move among people, gathering intelligence and shaping events. To cut yourself off is to surrender your eyes and ears. Better to move in a crowd, unseen yet everywhere, than to lock yourself away in a tower of fear. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. The world is filled with different kinds of people. Some are harmless, some are dangerous, some are vindictive. One mistake, one insult to the wrong person can destroy your life. That is why you must study people deeply, like a hunter studies prey. Some can be toyed with. Others will stop at nothing to seek revenge. The wise never underestimate anyone. A small man with a long memory is more dangerous than a great man with none. Before you strike, know who stand before you. Before you speak, know who listens. Power demands awareness. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. To tie yourself to one person, one group, or one cause is to limit your freedom. Commitments make you predictable. But when you remain uncommitted, you are free and more powerful. The world will beg you to choose sides, to declare loyalty, to tie yourself down. Resist it. Stay flexible. Float between factions, and let others compete for your attention. Like a lover courted by many, your value rises when you refuse to settle. Never become a prisoner of someone else's cause. Belong to no one, so that everyone wants you. These laws deepen the dance of power. They teach that dependence, deception, absence, unpredictability, and freedom of allegiance are not just strategies. They are shields and swords in a world where everyone seeks advantage. By now, you can see, power is not about brute force. It is about control of perception, timing, and emotion. The next set of laws will take us further into the shadows, where appearances deceive and loyalty becomes a dangerous game. Law 21. Appear weak when you are strong. A general once led his army into enemy land. His soldiers were fierce, but he made them act tired, hungry, and broken. The enemy laughed, thinking victory was easy. When night fell, the weak soldiers rose like lions and crushed them. The lesson: hide your power. Let the enemy think you are nothing until you strike with everything. Law 22. Use spies and secrets. A king once ruled a golden city. He feared attack, not from swords but from lies. Sun Tzu advised him, send eyes into the dark. So the king filled the enemy's camp with spies, cooks, traitors, even beggars. The enemy never knew where their secrets leaked from. In war, information is sharper than steel. Law 23. Attack the enemy's weakness. An army once stood before a mighty fortress. Its walls were tall, its gates strong. The soldiers were afraid. But Sun Tzu saw a narrow path leading to the enemy's food supply. He did not strike the walls. He struck their stomachs. Hunger broke them faster than swords. Every strength hides a weakness. Find it and victory comes easily. Law 24. Avoid what is strong. A river does not fight the rock head-on. It bends, flows, and wears a stone away with time. Sun Tzu said, do not attack where the enemy is powerful. Move around him like water. Wait, flow, and strike where he is soft. Law 25. The power of silence. A clever general does not shout his plans. He holds them in silence, like a hawk waiting in the clouds. One commander once kept his soldiers in the dark. They did not know when they would march, eat, or rest. The enemy's spies brought back no answers. When the strike came, it was sudden, fierce, and unprepared for. Silence is not emptiness. It is a weapon. Law 26. You speed like lightning. The slow army loses, even if it is strong. A fast army is like fire. One general once forced his men to march day and night. They moved faster than the enemy ever believed possible. When dawn came, they were already at the enemy's gates. Speed creates shock. Shock creates fear. Fear wins battles before they begin. Law 27. Divide and rule. An enemy united is dangerous. An enemy divided is weak. A wise general once sent whispers into the rival camp. Your leaders are greedy. They do not care for you. Soon soldiers doubted their commander, and commanders doubted their soldiers. Distrust spread like poison. When the general attacked, the enemy fell without much fight. Law 28. Use fire and nature as weapons. The earth itself can fight for you. Sun Tzu once told a king, if the enemy hides in the forest, burn the forest. The king listened. Flames rose, smoke filled the sky, and the enemy ran out choking and helpless. Nature is neutral, but a clever mind can turn it into an ally. Law 29. Do not trust appearances. Once, a small army camped in the open, looking weak and careless. A rival rushed to crush them, but when he attacked, he found hidden soldiers waiting in ambush. The small army was a mask. The real strength was hidden in the hills. Appearances are traps. What looks easy may be death. Law 30. Strike when the enemy is unready. The greatest victories are not won with strength, but with timing. A wise general once learned that his enemy was celebrating a festival. They were drunk, their weapons down. He attacked at midnight. By morning, the war was over. Never fight a ready enemy. Wait until he sleeps, feasts, or dreams of peace. That is the true art of war. Law 31. Control the options. Let others play with the cards you deal. A wise strategist never lets the opponent feel free. Instead of fighting many battles, he makes sure others fight only on the field he chooses. Imagine a chessboard. You don't need to control all pieces, only the board. Give your enemies limited choices, and whichever they pick, it still leads to your victory. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Reality is often bitter, and people avoid it. A powerful person knows this truth. Instead of giving people plain facts, he offers them dreams, illusions, and hope. Like a magician, he doesn't show what is real. He shows what people want to believe. The crowd will always follow the one who paints the most beautiful picture. Law 33. Discover each man's weak spot. Every person has a secret wound, a weakness, or a hidden desire. It may be pride, love, greed, or fear. The master power finds his weakness and holds it like a key. With this key, he can open any locked door in a man's heart. Once you know what controls a person, you can control the person himself. Law 34. Act like a king to be treated like one. People believe what they see. If you carry yourself with dignity, confidence, and strength, others will respect you as if you were born noble. Walk with the calmness of a king, and soon the world will treat you like royalty. But if you lower yourself, people will trample you. Power lives in presence. Law 35, master the art of timing. A hunter does not shoot too early, nor too late. Power is the same. It grows in patience. Rushing destroys plans. Waiting too long kills opportunities. A master knows the rhythm of time, when to strike, when to wait, and when to disappear. The perfect moment is his greatest weapon. Law 36. Despise the things you cannot have. Chasing what is out of reach shows weakness. It tells the world that your heart is restless. Instead, ignore what you cannot have, and it will lose value. Sometimes silence is stronger than desire. By not showing need, you make others believe you already possess greater treasures. Law 37. Create striking images. A simple action is forgotten, but a dramatic gesture is remembered forever. Great leaders build power through symbols, rituals, and bold moves. A striking image captures the imagination more than words. Like lightning in a dark sky, it shocks, dazzles, and remains in memory. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Inside, you may be different, unique, even rebellious. But on the surface, act in harmony with the world. Show too much difference, and people will feel threatened. Hide your true thoughts when needed, and blend with the crowd. Power grows quietly in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to shine. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. Anger is your enemy. Calmness your ally. When you stay still like a deep lake, you see everything clearly. But if you throw stones into the water, confusion hides the truth. If you want to catch someone to stir their emotions, make them angry, make them rush, and then strike while they are blind with rage. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. Nothing is free. What comes without cost often hides a trap. The wise know that paying their own way gives freedom, while taking free gifts creates chains. True power comes from independence. Better to earn a little with honor than accept much with hidden poison. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. A prince once tried to copy his father, a great king, but people compared him constantly and found him weaker. He failed because he lived in his father's shadow. Lesson: do not imitate too closely. Create your own path, your own identity. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. In a village, a rebel leader kept turning people against the ruler. The ruler wasted time punishing the villagers, but they always returned to rebellion because of the leader. When the ruler finally captured the leader, peace returned. Lesson: trouble often begins with one source. Remove the source, and the rest will collapse. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. A general once ruled harshly, demanding loyalty through fear. His soldiers obeyed but did not love him. Another leader gained loyalty by kindness, respect, and inspiration. When war came, his men fought fiercely for him. Lesson: win people with emotions, not force. Influence their hearts, not just their actions. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with a mirror effect. A cunning minister once faced insults from his rival. Instead of arguing, he copied the rival's words, tone, and gestures. Soon the rival grew angry, seeing his own reflection mocked at him, and lost control. Lesson: by mirroring others, you expose them and make them lose balance. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never too much at once. A reformer wanted to change all the traditions of his people overnight. They resisted and chaos followed. Another leader brought change slowly, step by step, until the people adapted. Lesson: change is necessary, but sudden revolutions create resistance. Move slowly. Keep the appearance of tradition while guiding towards new ways. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. A brilliant man was admired by all, handsome, intelligent, successful. But soon jealousy turned to hatred, and people conspired against him. If he had shown some flaws, others would have felt safe and less envious. Lesson: appear human. Too much perfection invites enemies. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aim for. A conqueror once defeated his enemy and gained the land he wanted. But greedy for more, he kept advancing until his army was exhausted and destroyed. Lesson: know when to stop. Victory is greatest when you leave at the right moment. Law 48. Assume formlessness. A mighty river adapts. When rocks block it, it flows around them. When narrow, it becomes fast. When wide, it becomes calm. A ruler who fixed himself to one style was easily trapped by enemies. But the one who stayed flexible could never be pinned down. Lesson: be like water. Do not let anyone define you. Stay flexible, adaptable, formless. And that's it. 48 timeless laws of power. Some of them may feel sharp, even ruthless. But remember, knowledge itself is not dangerous. It's how you use it that matters. These laws are like tools. You can choose to use and protect yourself, to rise in life, or to simply understand how the world around you really works. So take what fits your journey, leave what doesn't, and never forget, true power isn't about control over others, it's about control over yourself. Now it's your turn. How will you play the game?